What's going on, everybody? It's the Bull Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing the latest Chicago Bulls news that has occurred over the last couple of days. At the end of the day, there are a couple of things that I may have missed personally when it comes to talking about these situations, just because of all the season reviews and obviously the keep, wave, and trade videos, the Zach LaVine, which team he could go to videos, stuff like that. So all the stuff that I may have missed, I want to provide in today's video, and you can feel free to let me know in the comments below what you guys think about all the things that happened. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bull Show, turn notifications on, and again, let me know in the comments below your thoughts on all the news that we'll be providing for you guys today. So, first things first, when it comes to the news, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about Zach LaVine because I think this is probably the biggest story that many people would want to talk about. This has nothing to do with trades or nothing to do with free agency. This is about Zach LaVine's health, ladies and gentlemen. Probably the most important thing to talk about out of them all. Zach LaVine is going to have his surgery, ladies and gentlemen. According to Shams, he's going to have his scope surgery on his left knee. I guess just to try and clean up and also just trying to, recover from all the injury he sustained with his knee earlier on in the year. Makes perfect sense in my opinion. Again, no better time like the off-season to do these types of things, and it's very important that Zach LaVine does get healthy for next season, especially when he's most likely going to get a max contract no matter where he goes in the NBA. So I think that's very, very positive for Zach LaVine. Obviously, his health comes first, and I'm very happy that he's finally going to get his time to actually recover from this type of injury. I do feel like the injury played a massive factor in terms of what he could have been this season compared to what he was. Again, look at the beginning of the season for Zach LaVine and look at the end of the season for Zach LaVine. I think you can tell there's miles difference between the two players that we saw. So I'm really, really hoping that Zach LaVine can get as healthy as possible, get his knee surgery over and done with, get to that recovery stage, and hopefully if he's on this Bulls team next year, get straight to work into that preseason and the beginning of next season. That's what we're going to need out of Zach LaVine. But there's more than that, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about. Obviously, we recently saw that Nikola Jokic won the MVP award for this year, which again, I personally would have went with Joel Embiid, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who it goes to. I think all of them are really deserving candidates. And Jokic, by far, in my opinion, in terms of, I guess, the fact that he was the best player on a team that was struggling with so many injuries, you can't really argue any of the results, in my opinion. You can't really argue Nikola Jokic winning the MVP. It just wasn't my first choice. But there were the awards, or I guess the outcome of all the votes that did happen. And I'm happy to say that DeMar DeRozan actually got a vote for the MVP this year. Now, this leans a little to nothing for most people. But again, it does make you think what could have been if he just had a fantastic March and April stretch. How close could he have been in that MVP conversation? I think March and April really just made him put out of the question whatsoever. Just wasn't being able to be consistent in terms of his play from February to that March and April stretch. It just makes me wonder if he really played that well in those periods of time and the NBA playoffs as well. Even if we got eliminated in that first round, what could have been in terms of that MVP conversation, and will DeMar DeRozan had a very decent shout about it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't mean much for many people, but again, I think it also gives a lot of respect to the DeMar DeRozan season that he had this year. No matter how badly it ended, it started off amazingly, and again, the stats don't lie when it comes to DeMar DeRozan. He had a great season this year. I guess the most important thing for DeMar DeRozan now is to just focus on what can be done prior to this season now. Next season's coming up for us. That's what we've got to focus on. What can DeMar DeRozan do in order to make next season successful for him and for this Bulls team in general? That's the goal for DeMar next year. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is Arturas Karnisovas getting second in the executive of the year for the Chicago Bulls. At the end of the day, he's done an outstanding job. There's no questions about it, no ifs, buts, or maybes. The fact that we went to the 11th seed to the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, bringing in 2 all-star caliber players, and again, just being able to, I guess, transform this team in more ways than one. It's truly undeniable how fantastic of a job that Arturas Karnisovas did. And again, I trust him with this team completely. Whatever he wants to do with this team, I can fully be convinced, and I'll be able to trust what he decides to do. It doesn't matter what I think or what I don't think. It doesn't matter what I agree with or don't agree with. The fact of the matter is this guy gets paid the money to make this team successful. And in the years that he's been here, we have been successful. So I'm very happy about that. And let's see what we can do going forward. Let's see if those decisions going forward with the right decisions or the wrong decisions. Nobody's perfect. We will see AK make mistakes here and there. It's impossible not to make a mistake in your journey in the NBA. Again, you're versing the highest of the highest level of players, the highest of the highest level of executives, and you just got to be good at your job. You just got to do what you do well, and he's done that so far. And I'm looking forward to see what he can come up with in free agency, in terms of trades, the NBA draft. We've got a lot to work on in these avenues, and there's no one more, in my opinion, I trust than AK to really get this job done for the Chicago Bulls and to bring the best quality players in and to make this team competitive next year. This is probably the biggest award that I'm most proud of in terms of, I guess, Torres. He didn't win it at the end of the day, but he came second and he rightfully deserved to be in that conversation the whole time through. And we'll have to make more videos down the line about how he was successful. We'll have to make more videos down the line about other avenues of this team. I still need to talk about Billy Donovan and his season for the Chicago Bulls. So stay tuned for all of those videos coming up. But with that being said, I'm going to end this video here. Just a short little update video providing you with the updates about Zach LaVine and his surgery that he's going to have according to Shams. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan getting MVP vote in terms of the MVP voting. We know Jokic won, and he was rightfully deserved winner, even though he wasn't my first choice. But at the same time, DeMar DeRozan getting a vote, in my opinion, is a very special moment for him. And hopefully he can keep up that caliber of season next year with more team success around the Chicago Bulls. And also, just Torres just getting second in the executive of the year. You can't really ask much more from our executive than what he did this year. He's been truly outstanding. And the fact there are 30 executives out there competing for that award and our executive came second, pretty much, in my opinion, probably could have came first as well if we had that team success in the first and second in the Eastern Conferences. That's where we finished. He probably would have finished first. So it's that close, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very proud of him as well. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.